Good evening and welcome to tonight's webinar on exploring careers, finding the right fit for your future. My name is Britannia and I'm going to lead tonight's discussion. If you are joining me through Zoom and you have any questions while I'm talking this evening, please feel free to use the chat. And if you're joining me on Facebook and you have questions, you can put those in the comments section. So to get started tonight, we're going to be talking about how you can explore different career opportunities while you're still in high school. We do have some resources available for you in our materials library. I am sharing the links to these three downloadable PDFs now in the chat. So you can download our countdown to your future calendars for every year in high school. And you can also download our career and college planning guide. All of these resources and more can be found in our materials library, which is on our website, icansucceed.org/materials. If you have any questions tonight about anything that we go over in terms of career exploration, and you'd like to sit down and just talk with someone, we offer free advising on all of the topics that are going to be covered tonight under our career exploration and planning advising service. These are free appointments that you can do virtually or in person with any of our student success advisors. So to schedule those free sessions, you can just visit icansucceed.org/APT, or you can give us a call at 877-272-4692. So getting into tonight's discussion, exploring careers. Why is it important to plan for your career when you're just in high school, exploring classes and participating in extracurricular activities, doing community projects, or you might have a part-time job. But why is it important to think about your career this early? It's important because thinking about what you want to do after high school is more than just, do I want to go to college or not? Your career interests inform your post-high school education and training decisions. So you want to think about what you want to do after high school. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to make a decision, but you want to think about, what does your life look like after high school in your vision? What is your ideal situation? What do you want to be able to do? And then think about people that you know with different jobs, and how many of them seem to really enjoy what they do, and how many dread going to work, or they just go for the paycheck. The more you explore now and the more you learn about different career opportunities that are available, the more likely you are to fall into the first category of loving your job once you have one. So career planning starts with goal setting. It is important to set goals in life. They can be small goals, they can be big goals, but it is important to not only set goals, but also have a plan to reach those goals. So setting career and education goals, they should be based on your assessment results and the interest that you have. So assessments, everyone starting in 8th grade here in the state of Iowa, you start taking career assessments or career interest inventories as part of your planning for your high school 4-year plan. And then every year in high school, at least once, you should be retaking some sort of assessment to guide you and help you assess what your interests align with in terms of career opportunities. So I'm going to talk a little bit later about some career assessments and how you can work those in, but your goals should be based partly on those results and then partly on what you're interested in. Remember that career planning is an ongoing process. Even after you may have decided your initial career, you're still going to be planning out what that career looks like throughout your work life. You may look for promotion opportunities later on. So what skill sets will you need? What credentials will you need to make those advancement decisions? Maybe you will shift gears from your first career into a second career. So you need to understand the skill sets. Are there skills you can start building now in high school? Are there certain subjects or topics that you should learn more about? Classes you can take while you're in high school that will help you better understand different career areas or topics. Maybe you'll take a class and realize it's not as interesting as you thought it was going to be, or maybe it will solidify that decision and you'll want to take even more classes in those areas. You also want to gain experience. You can do job shadows and internships while you're in high school that will help you explore these areas, help you solidify your interests. And that also helps you create a financial plan between now and your career. Not only how you're going to finance any education or training you may need after high school, but also how to finance that responsibly. Understand the return on that investment you're going to get based on a starting salary of the different careers that you might be interested in. Not having goals can increase the amount of time it takes you to get where you want to go, can also increase your overall costs in getting there, and perhaps even increase the amount of debt it takes that you may have to borrow. So, really simple activity to get you started here. What are your goals? Set some goals and then talk about to yourself or with those around you, what do you need to do to reach that goal? It's one thing to set a goal. Setting goals is really important, but it's really also important to create that plan to achieve the goal. Because it's really easy to set a goal and say, I want to accomplish something, but then if it just hangs out there without a plan, it just sits out there. So you want to have a plan on how you're going to reach that goal. The next part of exploring careers is understanding the paycheck. How much are you going to get paid for the career that you're interested in? And is it going to get you where you want to go? So post-secondary education, so education training after you get that high school diploma, there are lots of options. And when I say the word college, I don't necessarily mean a 4-year degree. That is the most common thought. When you say the word college, you think 4 more years. Could be more than that. But there are also the college definition of a 1 or 2-year degree, career and technical programs in a community college or a tech school. These can be diploma programs, which typically take 9 months. They could be a certificate, which could take a year, or an associate's degree, which is around 2 years. So you can also join the military and get specialized training in different career fields through the military. The military could provide you, it could be a traditional college experience through an ROTC program where you're also serving. You could do a National Guard service where you're doing your basic training and then you come back and you do 1 weekend a month, certain times of the year. You could do direct enlistment that then trains you for specific careers. You could look at military academies. Union apprenticeships, so registered apprenticeship programs, on-the-job training. These are earn-as-you-learn programs where you are hired to learn a skill or a trade, and as you advance in that training, you also advance in that paycheck. You are not paying for the classes, you are getting paid to learn a skill and to work alongside a professional in that career. So there's also self-employment. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start your own business, there are still things you need to learn to successfully do that. So let's talk about making it in the real world. Right now, we're focusing on that paycheck and how much different careers pay us. So minimum wage right now is $7.25 an hour. If you work 8 hours a day, that's $58 a day. $58 a day for 5 days is $290 a week. And $290 a week times 52 weeks is $15,080 for 1 year's worth of work. And that is before taxes. That is not your take-home pay. So if you move that up to just $10 an hour, now you're looking at, we do all the math the same way, and you're making $20,800 a year before taxes. That is not your take-home pay. Can you live on that? Maybe. Is it what you want to live on? Are you going to have much flexibility making that low wage? There's also, $7 to $10 an hour, those jobs may not be full-time. They may be part-time work. So you may have to have multiple part-time jobs at that wage to make that 40 hours a week. So if you settle for a minimum wage job or even a $10 an hour job, where are you at when we look at the income scale? So I don't want to talk a lot about poverty, but it does give you a baseline of what to expect from just how society measures success and wages and how much is a livable wage. So for one person, the poverty line is $11,000. So by yourself, if you're just supporting just yourself, making minimum wage or $10 an hour, you're going to be above that one person poverty line. But the second that you have a second person in your household, minimum wage is around $15,000 a year. That is the poverty line. If you get married, if you start having kids and you start growing your family, you can see the poverty line, it does go up, but it is also more expensive to raise those children, to support more people in your household. So you're putting more strain on that income. So with a minimum wage job or even $10 an hour, there's not an easy way to support a family of 3 or 4 or 5, depending on if you decide to have multiple children. Now, I know that you're in high school, you're not thinking about having kids right now necessarily, but in terms of goal setting and long range planning and what you want your life to look like, picking a career that's going to pay you more than minimum wage is going to help you have more opportunities and more choice when you're an adult. Let's talk about college ready and career readiness. You don't have to go get a 4-year degree, but what employers are looking for and what the workforce and the job market is looking for, 68% of jobs right now in the marketplace require something beyond a high school diploma. It could be it could be that 1-year certificate or diploma. It could be a 2-year associate's degree. It could be a registered apprenticeship program with on the job hands-on training. It could be a 4-year degree, but it requires something more than a high school diploma. And then only 5% of the jobs that don't require more than a high school diploma will provide you with advancement opportunities without additional credentials. So what that means is only 5% of jobs are going to allow you to get promoted without any additional education or training. So most jobs are going to require something for you to grow in that position, to get significant raises and advancement. Now, employers are telling us as well that they need a prepared and skilled workforce. And people coming right into the workforce from high school without additional training, they aren't well prepared for the field. They're saying 46% of individuals in the workforce weren't well prepared. So they need those they need that education and training beyond a high school diploma. 40% of high school graduates aren't ready for college or employment. That's part of this planning process. How can you be more prepared and be part of the 60%? So is education or training worth it beyond high school? Absolutely. The average high school graduate right now makes around $45,000 a year. So this is your median average salary. The average associate's degree holder or apprenticeship or apprentice makes around $62,000 a year, well over that poverty line for a small family. The average bachelor's degree holder makes an average of $85,800 a year. And the average annual salary of someone who graduates and becomes a professional from an apprenticeship program makes $80,000 a year. Now, these are average, meaning middle salary ranges. There's a lot of earning potential that you can gain just by a year or two of additional study. Add 3 or 4 more, and your range goes even higher. So let's talk about 2-year career and technical degrees. So these are jobs that you can get with a 2-year career and technical education degree from a community college. So lots of in-demand careers. These are growing fields. Wind turbine technician in Iowa, they start at $31,000 a year, but the average median salary, once you have some experience, is $51,000, and it tops out around $74,000. Registered nurses, we are in high need of nurses. We have a nursing shortage. They start out at $37,000. Their average salary is $82,000, and they top out around $140,000 a year. And you can become a nurse with a 2-year degree. You can actually become a CNA with just a year of training. So you can start with a smaller credential and build up to a 2-year degree. Then you can also go beyond that, a bachelor's degree in nursing. That's going to also raise your salary up. An auto technician starts low in Iowa at $21,000, but with experience goes all the way up to $88,000. So you can see these are lots of different careers in lots of different areas. We have healthcare, we have energy and natural resources, we have technology, automotives, art, graphic design starts around $24,000 a year, ends up at $84,000. Robotics ends up around $88,000 for a top salary. Surgical technologists tops out at $141,000 with a 2-year degree. There are so many opportunities in the CTE fields that don't require you to go the full 4 years. We talked about registered apprenticeships a few minutes ago. So earning as you learn, being paid to learn a skilled trade. So here's some options. In Iowa hourly wage for a level 1 journey person. A level 1 journey person is the very first level after you graduate the apprenticeship program. So right after you complete the apprenticeship program as a carpenter, you're immediately making $31 to $32 an hour. And when you add in your wage package benefits, you're making $55 to $56 an hour. So your wage packet benefits are including things like health insurance and things like that. Electricians, as soon as you complete your apprenticeship, you're making $40 to $44 an hour. Insulators, $30 to $34 an hour. Iron workers, $33 to $35 an hour. Millwrights, $34 to $35 an hour. Plumbers and steam fitters, $41 to $43 an hour. And a sheet metal worker is going to make between $40 and $41 an hour right after they graduate. And you got to remember, these apprenticeships, they may last 4 to 6 years, but you're getting paid the entire time you're studying to be an apprentice. And as you pass through each level of that apprenticeship program, you're getting raises as well, and you get benefits as an apprentice. So when we're exploring careers, I mentioned at the beginning as part of goal setting, you want to look at your career assessment. So exploration begins with that assessment. An assessment is a series of short questions that help you determine your career clusters and pathways and how they fit your personality and what you're interested in. So assessments help you identify your strengths and your interests. They match those results to career pathways or industries. They will link you to specific careers and then tell you the salary expectations of those careers. Salary expectations are important. They help you set your budget. They're going to link you to careers and tell you what the education and training requirements are. So if you get linked to a career, it's going to tell you this is what you need to get into this job. You need an apprenticeship. You need a 2-year degree. You need a 4-year degree. It's going to tell you then what the education requirements lead to those potential majors. What are the majors or the career training programs that lead to those credentials? And these assessments are going to help you narrow your options and help you find ones that fit you, giving you areas to explore. It's not going to tell you what exactly your career should be. It's going to give you options to explore and consider. Now, there are lots of different career assessments out there. So Holland's theory of career choice, it matches your personality type to your compatibility of your work environment. And if you have a match between your personality and your work environment, you're more likely to be successful and satisfied with your career. In the Holland personality types, there are 6 personality types that it kind of filters everyone into based on the questionnaire. You could be realistic, which means you're a hands-on doing type of person. Investigative is a problem solver. Artistic means you're creative. Social, you're a people person. You like to be around people, like to talk. Enterprising, you're a persuader or a leader. And conventional means you're an organizer. Now, all of these have different varying degrees that are going to fit you. You may even overlap in certain areas. It's going to rank how you fit into all of these areas and then tell you what your top ones are, and then explain to you what work environments may fit that. It's just one type of an assessment. All of your assessments are going to take you into career clusters. Now, a career cluster is a grouping of jobs. So every job that exists is organized into one of 14 career clusters. And then each cluster has subsets of clusters that further refine where you might fit. So you could explore the cluster that's identified through your assessment and then use that to pick out different high school courses or experiences that fit those areas. And that way you're exploring that area while gaining credit to graduate. This exploration in high school can help you really hone in on what you're interested in or rule things out. So the 14 career clusters that exist are there on the screen: advanced manufacturing, agriculture, arts, entertainment, and design, construction, digital technology, education, energy and natural resources, financial services, health and human services, hospitality and events, management and entrepreneurship, marketing and sales, public service and safety, and supply chain and transportation. So every job that exists and every future job that will exist by the time you graduate will be classified into one of these 14 areas, which just means that jobs that are all in health and human services all have similar characteristics. People that work in those areas are very similar to one another. Same with public service and safety. All of the careers that fall under that category are going to have similar qualities, similar characteristics, and then similar needs for credentials. So you can explore these careers. I mentioned the Holland Occupational Test. 2 other ones that you can also use that are linked to our website, My ACT and Career Coach. So you can also walk through and explore careers and talk about assessments with an ICANN advisor if you'd like to. So you can set up one of those exploring careers appointments, and you can do that there on the website, icansucceed.org/APT. So I do want to talk to you a little bit about how you can explore using a different assessment, the My ACT assessment. So My ACT is part of ACT. So if you're taking the ACT test, you already have an account. It's the same login. If you need to create an account because you haven't taken the test yet, it's a free account. Under My ACT, you're going to click the Plans tab. And they're going to give you 3 short assessments that provide details on your career interests. So the first one is an interest inventory, and it's 72 questions, which sounds like a lot, but you're not thinking about these in depth. It's your first reaction to the question. So here you go. Do you dislike it? Are you indifferent? Or do you like the activity that's being described? And it's just, what's your gut instinct? Do you like it or don't you like it? So here, use a microscope or other lab equipment. For me, I'm going to hit dislike. While I find science interesting, it's not something that I want to do every day. So I would hit dislike, and you just click, 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 click through the 72 questions and decide, do you like something or not? The next one is your abilities inventory, 18 questions here. And it's asking you to rate your ability. So consider your ability to write interesting messages or emails, tell stories or speak to a class or group, prepare reports, essays, or articles. And here you want to just, are you good? Do you think you're good at this? I would say above average for myself, because I do write, I do speak to different groups of people. I do prepare reports and things like that. I write a lot of emails to people for work. So I would rate myself above average on that one. But if it was a question about, am I good at building things, or am I good at large scientific calculations or things like that, I would say below average, because that is not what I am good at. So again, first instinct, low, below average, high, things like that. What is my answer? And then the third one is the values inventory. And this is where you're going to say if you'd like it or not. So the ability inventory, it tells you right at the beginning, don't answer this based on if you think you'd like doing it. Answer it based on if you have the ability to do it. For example, I have the ability to do a lot of financial reporting and tracking and things like that. I don't like doing it, but I have that ability. So I would rate the ability high. And then when I get here to values, when it asks me if it's what I want to do, I would say no. So here, I don't want to do it. It's not important. I could care less, somewhat important, or very important. And this is, do you want to do it? So working in an office, for me, not important. It doesn't matter where I work. So once you have completed all 3 of those interest inventories, it's going to give you a career map, and it's going to highlight. So there are all of these different circles that represent those subcluster areas of careers. And when they light up, those are the ones that match your interest inventories. So if they're blue, it means it matched 1 of the 3 tests. And if it's red, it matched 2 or 3 of the 3 tests. So when you hover over those, that's when it's going to tell you what the area is, and you can click on it and it will give you a list of careers that fit that you can then explore. And if you like it, you can star the career and save it for later. It will also give you a major map. So based on the same information from your assessment, it'll group you into different areas of majors, and then you can explore your interest based on majors as well. So it's important as you're exploring these careers to think about the growing industries and opportunities, and is the career area that you're being linked to, what is the growth opportunity? Are there going to be lots of those jobs available, or is it going to be a harder market to get into? Either way, you can do it. It just helps to understand, are you going to have a lot of competition, or is it going to be, are there going to be lots of opportunities? So in terms of what's going on in Iowa, so Iowa's ranked #1 in the US for opportunity in 2021, which means we had the most opportunity for careers in the nation. So based on affordability, economic opportunity, and equality, we are known as a hub for ag tech and animal health research. We rank 2nd nationally for wind energy installation. We're a national leader in finance and insurance industries. And those industries also include marketing and sales and human resources. Lots of different careers fit into those companies. And then healthcare is one of the fastest growing segments of Iowa's economy. So it is the largest employment sector in the state is healthcare. So not necessarily going to become a doctor, but we talked about surgical technician earlier, nurses. There are lots of medical and healthcare professions that are in high need. Going back to those apprenticeships and career training, again, getting an education beyond high school. We've talked about that is essential. You do need more than a high school diploma for most jobs. You don't have to have a 4-year degree though. So trade jobs account for 56% of the labor market and 52% of job openings in Iowa right now. They're estimating that there's going to be a 40% of the job growth from 2017. It included 2.5 million jobs in areas in advanced manufacturing, healthcare, building and construction trades. And 3.5 million manufacturing jobs are still needed to be filled because advanced manufacturing continues to grow and the needs for that continue to grow. So advanced manufacturing can be anything from CNC machining, tool and die makers. There's lots of really interesting career fields in advanced manufacturing. There's this boom. I just mentioned that 90% of Iowa's exports are from the advanced manufacturing sector. It's Iowa's largest industry, contributes $30 billion annually to our state economy. There are 96 career opportunities within 6 manufacturing pathways that can be fulfilled through career training programs that are less than 2 years. 2 years or less. Production, manufacturing production, maintenance, quality assurance, logistics and inventory, and then health, safety, and the environmental assurance. So how can you prepare for all of these things while you're in high school? Gain experience. So the classes you take can be linked to your 4-year plans. You can do extracurricular activities that help you explore interests and connect with your passions. You can do volunteer work. Take job shadows and internships. When those are available to you, take advantage of them. Go try on a career. Go explore what a day is like in a career that interests you. You can also do part-time employment. Every job you have, every activity that you take, every class that you're in is going to teach you skills that will help you no matter what career you end up in. So that hands-on experience, I linked that guidebook. You can find this information also on page 9. So Iowa Intermediary Network is the organization that every community college has an intermediary network that works with the area high schools in that community college region to help set up job shadows and internships and connect high school students with the business community. You can also volunteer and then join clubs that enhance your interests. So think about what careers you're interested in, and then what could be a possible job shadow opportunity that connects you to that. And then talk to your school counselor about that. Your school counselor will connect you with your intermediary network person or work with them to make connections for you for job shadows and internship opportunities in high school. Some high schools give credit for those as well. So you could be doing a summer internship or you could do it during the school year and earn credit. So some examples, if you're interested in a legal career, you could do a job shadow in a law office or a courthouse or the police station. If you're interested in marketing, it could be an ad agency, a design firm, or a retail store. Medicine, you could be job shadowing at a doctor's office, a dentist's office. Veterinarian, if you're interested in pet medicine or animal science. Economics, an accountant's firm. If you're creative or artistic, you could job shadow at an art gallery or a design firm. Computers, you want a technology company, or you want a technology department within a company. Track all of your experiences while you're in high school because it's going to help you when it comes to scholarships. It's also basically your first version of what will become your professional resume. An activities resume tracks your school information, your academic information, your activities, your honors and awards, community service, and volunteer work. Having all of this organized when it comes time to start applying for scholarships, to start applying to programs for jobs or admission to college, having it all organized is going to help. This will also be very helpful when you ask people to write you letters of recommendation. So if you hand them this, it's going to let them write a more well-rounded letter on your behalf. So all of this that we've talked about tonight, it all is about finding the right fit. Use online resources that compare education and training programs to find your best match on academic fit, cultural fit, and financial fit. We use College Raptor. It's a free website that will provide you, based on the information you tell it about yourself, a customized list of college matches that you can explore. Now, it has every college in the country, 2-year and 4-year. So the more information you give this website, it's a free profile. It's a safe online form. The more information you give about your academics, your family's financial need, things like that, the more accurate the match is going to be, not only to your admission criteria, but your financial aid. And College Raptor also has a scholarship search site that, based on the information that you provide, will match you with scholarships. So remember, there are lots of options after high school. You can go straight into the workforce. You can go to a career and technical program, you can take a training, apprenticeship, or military position, or you can go to a 2 or 4-year college or university. But it's really important to explore all of your options and find the one that fits you best. Apprenticeship and career training programs are out there. They're all different lengths based on what you're training for. A certificate is that 3 to 9 months. A diploma is 9 months to a year. An associate's degree is going to be 2 years, and that's either an Associate of Applied Science degree, which is a career and technical program, or you can get an Associate of Arts or Science that's a 4-year transfer degree. You can go to a bachelor's degree is 4 years, a master's degree is 5+ years, and a doctorate is 6+ years. You can also do that military or specialized training we talked about earlier. No matter what you think you're going to do after high school, develop your 4-year plan in high school and really utilize it. It's not just a class schedule. Yes, it outlines all of the classes you're going to take each year, but by utilizing it to your most advantageous opportunity, you can keep track of your plan. You can include all of your high school graduation requirements. You can review the education and training program admission requirements and make sure you're meeting those in your plan. Align your career pathway with your 4-year plan and work with your school counselor each year to make sure that you're taking advantage of all of the opportunities that are available to you. So first off, you're going to take your core classes. Absolutely. You have to take your core classes to graduate from high school. But these also are the classes that will best prepare you for college and career. So it's the solid foundation, no matter what you're going into. It's preparation for college level classes, because when you go to college, if you take a 4-year degree with general education requirements as part of your degree, you're going to take college level classes in all of your core areas from high school. Core classes are also given more attention by college admissions, but they've also been shown to provide valued work skills by employers. The other classes that you take, your electives, you can use those electives as the chance to explore your career interests and your just regular interests. So career clusters in your 4-year plans, you can use your high school classes and experiences to explore and rule out careers and majors that don't fit you, or to find the ones that really fit you, that you know that's what I want to go into. So different pathways will make recommendations for your high school coursework. So an example of this is the education training for a medical cluster or a health and human services cluster. So different training levels within a single cluster. So here you could be a certified nursing assistant or a CNA for just 120 hours. You could be a surgical technician with an Associate of Applied Science degree that you get in 2 years. You could become a registered nurse with a bachelor's degree in science and nursing in 4 years. You could become a physical therapist, that's a bachelor's degree plus 3 years of professional school, or you could become a physician or a doctor. So bachelor's degree of 4 years, med school for 4 years, and then your residency of 3 to 8 years. Now, what does this look like about your educational options? You could fall into the health sciences cluster, but it doesn't mean you have to go on to, the full 8 years of med school and residency, another 8 years after that. It means that you have options. So this is an example of the Health and Human Services 4-year plan template. So if your career assessment aligns you into a career cluster area that is Health and Human Services, this is an example of how your 4-year plan, some of the classes that you could incorporate. So you can see biology is on there, advanced biology, human anatomy and physiology. You also have health 1 and 2. You see down there, you're doing child development. You're talking about maybe a career academy as an elective that's maybe in the health sciences. But then it also talks about if you're pursuing a 4-year college or university, you should take 2 years of world language. It also talks about college classes that are related to that cluster: human anatomy, biology, chemistry, microbiology, medical terminology, intro to nursing. So if you start looking at dual enrollment classes that you could take while you're in high school, those are classes that would relate to the career area you're looking at. Extracurricular clubs that you could take: health, anything to do with, health or helping people, volunteering in your community. That's a way that you can relate your 4-year plan and what you're doing in high school to the careers that you're interested in. So our last segment today is affordability. When we're exploring careers, we want to talk about how do we budget and how do we understand the potential for our future based on the careers we're interested in. It really comes down to, what is your starting salary? So we talked a lot earlier about median salaries. That's the average salary that someone in that profession makes. But for your college budget, you want to start with the starting salary. What are you going to make year one? Because that is going to determine your college budget. When you know your income potential, you can determine how much you could possibly spend or borrow on that education if you have to spend or borrow. We also have a tool called Rocky, Return on College Investment Tool, that you can utilize to go through and look at the return on investment, how much you spend on certain degrees or for certain careers, and how soon it will pay off and how soon you will earn that money back in income potential. You can also use my ACT for that career research information. So the same website that you use for that one of those career assessment options, when you dig into those different career pages, there's a tab that is about salary and what you make starting out. It's important when you're setting a college budget to understand your borrowing limits. Borrowing should always be the last way to pay for college. Sometimes it's necessary, but do it responsibly. So how much are you going to borrow over the entire length of your degree? If you're going to school for 4 years, you're going to have to pay off 4 years worth of loans, but you only borrow 1 year at a time. So you need to take the extra steps when you're looking at setting a budget to understand, if I borrow X amount 1 year, I'm going to probably borrow that same amount or more every year. So what does my total borrowing look like? If you borrow $80,000, which is a lot, way more than you should, you're going to pay $800 a month for 10 years. Standard loan repayment is 10 years. So $80,000 roughly equates to an $800 a month student loan payment. Now that it does vary based on what the interest rate is when you borrow. But really, you shouldn't borrow more than your starting salary for your planned career. So if your starting salary is $40,000, you should not borrow more than $40,000 for your entire degree, because that gives you a $400 a month payment, which making $40,000 a year is more doable than $800 a month. It also ensures that you understand how much you can borrow each year. So if $40,000 is your entire degree and you're going to go to school for 4 years, that means you should not borrow more than $10,000 a year for your degree. So if you're looking at a college and the financial aid offer comes in and it is going to cost way more than $10,000 in student loans to go there each year, that may not be the right fit for you. These are things to think about and to consider when you're looking at career potential and how you're going to get to that career. Remember that earn as you learn is an option. If one of the career areas that fits you falls into those skilled trades, you won't have to borrow anything because they'll pay you to learn the trade and they guarantee employment once you complete the apprenticeship program. So the Earn as you learn apprenticeship programs, the registered trades apprenticeship programs, they combine on-the-job training with structured learning. There is classroom work, but it's also hands-on learning, and you're on a job site working alongside a professional. There's no cost. Once you're accepted into the program, you start earning wages and you have benefits. You're going to work side by side with that professional tradesman. It's complemented with classroom experience, and you earn a paycheck for both the work and the class. So if you have additional questions or need additional information about exploring careers, one that we did talk about quite a bit tonight was military careers. If that's something that you're interested in, we do have our upcoming military career fairs series in the state of Iowa. We are going to be hosting military career fairs in October and November in Cedar Rapids, Ankeny, Cedar Falls, Sioux City, and Council Bluffs. And you can visit that website there, icansucceed.org/military fair, for the specific dates in each city. I can tell you Cedar Rapids is coming up on October 17th. Ankeny is October 21st. Cedar Falls is October 29th. Sioux City is November 13th. And we are still trying to nail down the November date for Council Bluffs, but we will announce that very soon. But all of the information is on that website, their military fair. And you can register for the event so that we know how many people to prepare for. Tell us which one you're going to come to if that's something you want to explore. But we invite every branch, every academy, the ROTC programs, everyone's there, and they give little presentations on each enlistment opportunity. And then it's like a college fair, but with military, and you can go and ask them questions at each of those tables. This is our website, full of great information. Up there in the top right, you see resource library. That's where all of the PDFs that you can download of all of our materials are available. You can always schedule an appointment from our homepage there, or you can go through across the top, career planning, college planning, financial aid, and find lots of great information to help you plan. And last, you can follow us on social media. Some of you might be watching us on Facebook right now, but we're on Facebook and Twitter. We have all of our webinars are recorded and housed in our YouTube channel. And you can also follow us on Instagram. You can sign up for our e-alerts. That's icansucceed.org/signup. And we will send you updates and reminders about events, tips to keep you on track for wherever you're at in the process and whatever grade level you are at. So just remember that ICANN is here to help in any way that we can. That concludes tonight's session on exploring careers. If you have any questions, again, I highly recommend reaching out to us. We do free advising, and we can talk you through where you're at in your plan and go over your assessment results. You also always have a school counselor in your building that can help you and answer your questions as well. So I don't see any questions in the chat, so I am going to say have a great evening, and thank you for joining me.